The first thing I wanted to do before we delve too much into the theory of the firm is to give an overall idea of how we're going to cover this side of the course. When it comes to the firm, the best place to start is the profits equation. Profits equal total revenue minus total cost. And essentially what the firm wants to do is to maximize its profits. We like to analyze this profit equation separately by talking about total cost first and then total revenue after that. We start with total cost because the total costs don't change regardless of the market structure or the industry the firm operates. When it comes to total cost, the most important thing is that there are two periods. A period in which some inputs will be fixed, the short run, and a period in which all inputs are assumed to be able to vary. If we're talking about the short run in which the fixed input is fixed, and we have some fixed costs, we assume the fixed costs are sunk with nothing we can do about it, so we don't consider them in order to make decisions. Furthermore, because the variable inputs is increasing over the fixed input, eventually the variable inputs begin to lose productivity. We call that diminishing marginal returns. Because of diminishing marginal returns, the marginal costs of the firm of production are going to increase exponentially since we're paying the same money and we're getting lower productivity of our inputs. It's a very big problem that firms faces in the short run when the fixed inputs are fixed. In the long run, we assume that all inputs can vary, and the most important implication of that is that a firm can enjoy economies of scale. That is, when the firm increases production dramatically, it can actually, by increasing the size of the plant, it can actually reduce the overall cost of production. But we are going to focus in this course mostly on short run because it is a more realistic assumption, and also in the interest of time to get to the total revenue side, which is the most interesting side of the equation quite quickly. So total revenue essentially has two types of implication. Either the firm is a price taker or the firm is a price maker. A price maker firm is a firm that enjoys some degree of market power. And when the firm has some degree of market power, then the firm has some control over the price and can change the price of the product. But when the firm operates in a very competitive market, let's say a farmer is selling corn, then the firm is going to be a price taker, and the firm has to take the price from the market and do the best it can with that price. In other words, the only way a price taker can increase profits, since he cannot do anything about price, is by changing the total cost, by reducing costs. Now, when the firm operates in a competitive environment, again, there's going to be two time periods. The short run, in which the firm can decide whether to operate or not, but not to whether enter or exit the market. So in that period is the average variable cost, what is relevant. Or the firm operates in the long run, and in that particular case, it's a little longer analysis. But the final idea is that in the long term, firms that stay in business in the competitive environment are those firms that are able to maintain the average total cost at least at a level equal to the price. They're able to break even. So it's a non-intuitive result of the competitive market. So if you're still a little confused about it, just wait until we analyze it and it'll make a little more sense. But by far, the most interesting side of this total revenue side are price maker firms, which is really most of the firms that we are familiar with. Most of the firms that we're familiar with, they do have some degree of market power. And when they have some degree of market power, then the firm can increase profits by changing the total cost, reducing cost, but also by changing its price. And the essential idea of changing price is to try to extract as much surplus from consumers as possible. To charge a price that is very, very close to how much the consumer is willing to pay. So we call that price discrimination, and the techniques are very, very diverse and very interesting. Third degree tariff. We also have quantity discounts, membership fees, loyalty program. There's a lot of interesting applications of price discrimination. So we're going to stay with this topic of price discrimination probably for at least 2 or 3 lectures. And then the other side is when the firm actually, the behavior of the firm has some impact on the behavior of other firms, and that gets into the idea of, or the topic of strategic behavior. And there's a field of economics that deal with strategic behavior is called game theory. So we're going to spend at least two weeks on that particular topic. So I think for the most part, total cost, we're going to try to go over it pretty quickly, because the main idea there is that the relevant costs are the marginal costs. And then we're going to get to total revenue as soon as we can. We're going to try to start with the price takers to understand the benefits that to society that a competitive market have. And then we go into pricing with the price makers.